It's awfully impressive if you always look like you're predicting the next move of the individual. So Jim came up with this idea, I believe it was you, Jim, about the trunk. Was that yours? So Jim said, well, how impressive would it be if you just went and bought a box and you got a bunch of dividers in that box, you know, just whatever, the little manila dividers, and maybe you burn, 10 copies of the David Allen time management interview, and then you burn, 10 copies of the Mike Ferry interview for coaching realtors, and you burn 10 copies of the Douglas Andrew interview for coaching insurance agents, and then maybe a whole bunch of different business boosters on a variety of subjects, database management, and all these different things, and put it in your trunk. And when you go visit a realtor and you sit down with them and you're chatting with them, just having small talk over lunch, and they say, you know where my pain is right now? And of course, they're not going to say it to you, but you're going to ask them, what is it that you need to really improve upon the most in your business right now to make sure that you take your business to the next level? And they'll just listen, just shut up and listen. You don't need to say anything more than that. They're going to the floodgates are going to open. Oh, my time management sucks. I don't ever have enough time. My team's always quitting on me. I got all kinds of team turnover. You just walk out to your car, grab them exactly what they need, walk right back in and hand it to them. Hey, you know what? I just happen to have this in my car. I think this will be really helpful for you. Why don't you listen to it? You think that'll turn some heads? You think that'll make you valuable to them? Absolutely. It's about helping them become more successful. It's about partnering with them. Bill Dallas talked about it yesterday. Greg hit him with that question on the panel. What's the most important thing? It's about owning the relationships that you have, going deeper with them. You will find that the common denominator of most successful loan officers, they don't have a lot of referral partners. Now, in 2003, when I did 676 loans, I had 3 realtors, 2 accountants, and 2 insurance agents. Same in 2002, all the way back to 1999, but they're all damn good, really good. And that's because I went really deep with them, and I selected over the course of time the best. So I didn't have to juggle a lot of different personalities, and I could have huge advocates out there selling me at point of sale. Loan Toolbox members, I continue to get great feedback on this document, the mortgage rate update. Every Friday, if you're not doing this, do it. You will get deals. Every Friday, you simply go in, customize the rates for the week. It takes you 60 seconds. It automatically calculates the APR for you. We rotate every week a new subject matter in the top half of the marketing document. How an adjustable rate mortgage works, what's tax deductible during the loan process, why do you need an appraisal on a loan, and then just put 5 of these in front of each one of your realtors. And during tax season, every week, put a stack of these on your CPA's desk. I was speaking in Denver, Colorado at the beginning of this year, and one of our members was sitting in the front row, and he interrupted me right at this time of the presentation. And I said, yeah, what can I do for you? And he said, I got to just jump in real quick. He goes, I got to tell you. He said, I got your voice broadcast with that tip about taking the mortgage rate update and putting it on CPA's desks during tax season, which is coming up here just around the corner after the holidays. I put 10 on 3 different CPA's desks, and this month alone, I've already picked up 4 deals. It just makes sense. It just makes sense, gang. If a CPA is sitting there all day long, meeting with 5 to 7 people, reviewing their financial situation, and your smiley face with educational material and an update on rates is sitting right there, and the subject matter of mortgages comes up, what do you think they're going to do? Hey, why don't you take a look at this? It's free marketing. Open houses. They're coming back. Those of you that don't like football, you can start sitting them. But I'll tell you, they're a gold mine if you do them right. Same thing with the Dave Savage, Sally Bucciero example I gave earlier about subprime loans. You can be like Dave and just hand out your card at these open houses. You can be like Sally and do something special. What do they want? What is in the forefront of the mind of any individual that walks through an open house? Am I buying at the right time? Right? Am I going to get a good deal? Is this the right property? Am I making the right decision? It's a corner lot. Is that a problem? Why not burn the David Leray interview? Head economist, National Association of Realtors, things you need to be looking out for and identifying the right time to buy a home. Why not burn the Dan Fritchen interview? Remodel or move. Give that consumer a significant amount of education on what to look out for in upgrades in homes. You can either sit that open house and hand out your card, or you can sit that open house and hand them what they want. That's marketing. That's knowing where the bullseye is and hitting them right in the middle of it. So we come to the point in the conversation where We're drip marketing on these people. We've got their attention. Everything's going smoothly. Now it's time to get the appointment. It's time to sit down with that real estate agent for the first time and have a cup of coffee. And this is always a real snag part. Loan officers get caught up in this. They have a tough time. And what do I say, when I sit down with them? Well, how do you get the appointment is really very easy. It's called the trapping script. My mother-in-law taught me the trapping script way, way, way back when I first got into the business, when I first met her. I didn't understand it as the trapping script back then. It wasn't until about 3 years ago that I identified the trapping script as Grandma Gina was delivering it to me on a consistent basis. Let me tell you how the trapping script works. It's foolproof. Last year at exactly this time, we're getting ready to go to Cabo San Lucas. We're at my mother and father-in-law's house, and my mother-in-law, who I like very much and have a very good relationship with, she says to me, "So, son, what are you and Anna and the kids doing for New Year's this year?" I said, it's been raining a lot, and I think we're going to go down to Cabo San Lucas for a week and celebrate New Year's. She goes, "Really? I think I'll come." I mean, what the hell do you say to that? I mean, you want to talk about being trapped. I mean, I'm damned if I do. I spent a whole week with my mother-in-law for New Year's. I'm damned if I don't. I looked at my wife. I gave her the eye. I said, "You handle this situation." And I exited the room. But you can use the trapping script very effectively. She used it on me a couple weeks ago, honey. I pointed it out to you. You can use the trapping script very effectively at point of sale. Let me give you an example. Jim, at point of sale, you do a mortgage coach spreadsheet for one of your customers. At the end of going over the 3 or 4 different loan scenarios, and you guys pick that 5-year interest only, you go, "Yeah, this is the one." I simply want you to ask this question. Rate for me on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best your relationship with your CPA. And then just shut up. A 9. A 9. That's a great score. Why a 9? I think the world of him. He's a great guy. He's been doing mine and my family's taxes for the last 10 years or so. And I just think he does great work. Jim, one of the things that I have found to be incredibly important is that all of my clients have a great relationship with their accountant. And I think that a third set of eyes, a neutral opinion at this stage of our discussions would be very appropriate. Would you mind if I gave your CPA, Richard Blythe, a call, introduced myself, and showed him the 3 or 4 different loan options? I'd swing by his office early one morning before his day gets busy, spend 5, 10 minutes with him to show him the 3 or 4 different loan options that we've taken a look at and explain to him that we've selected this 5-year interest only. Now, there's only 2 answers that Jim could give me in that particular case, and one of them's really good, which is, yeah, sure, give him a call. And I'll tell you that almost 100% of the time, the answer is going to be yes, because if the person rated their CPA highly, why wouldn't they want me to run the scenario past their accountant? So now you get to play my mother-in-law. You get to call the CPA up on the phone. "Hi, Richard, my name's Tim Braheem with First Rate Financial. We have a mutual client by the name of Jim Sanger. By the way, before I continue, I have to commend you. I asked Jim to rate your services on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best. He gave you a 9. And I mean, he had nothing but great things to say about you. So you're doing a wonderful job." And I told him that I thought it would be a good idea for us to talk, and he agreed. He asked me to give you a call. He'd like me to swing by your office early one morning before your day gets busy to review the 3 or 4 different loan scenarios that we've taken a look at, to have your confirmation that we're making the right and intelligent choice on his behalf. When would be a convenient time to come by? Foolproof. He can't say no to me. He says no to me, he's saying no to his client. He's saying no to the guy that just gave him a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10. It's an automatic appointment every time. So when you get that appointment, what do? Well, the first thing that you don't do is you don't act desperate. Now, raise your hand if you've seen the movie Swingers with Vince Vaughn. Okay. We're not going to talk about wife swapping, gang. It's not that kind of a movie. Swingers is a guy movie, and it's about dating. And there's a guy at the beginning of the movie, his name's Mike, and his fiance breaks up with him, and the guy just is down in the dumps for the entire movie. He just can't get out of his rut. And real late in the movie, they're at this bar in Hollywood, and Mike goes up to the bar, and he starts talking to this girl. It's actually Heather Graham, the actress, and the next thing you know is he walks back to the booth where the other 3 guys are at, his buddies, to a hero's welcome. I mean, they're so happy for him that he got her phone number. He's got it right there on the napkin, and he dives into the booth, and these guys are hugging him, and the first question comes, "So when are you going to call her?" And he goes, "I don't know. When should I call her?" And Vince Vaughn says, "Industry standards is 3 to 5 days." He says, industry standards. What the hell is industry standards? He says, well, if you wait more than 5 days, she's going to think you're blowing her off and you're not interested. If you call her in less than 3 days, she's going to think that you're acting too desperate and you're going to scare her away. But isn't this the game that we play with how frequently do we follow up on leads? How heavily do we pursue a real estate agent? You see, the key thing, folks, when it comes to referral partners is to act as if you do not need them. Please write that down. Act as if you do not need them. And I got news for you. You don't need about 90% of them. You really don't. Just because they have realtor on their business card doesn't mean that they're that attractive. None of you are that great of a chameleon to where you could work with everyone. The key is to interview them for the job of working with you. And I promise you, if you take this approach, it will be magical. It has never not worked for me. And it started when I had an opportunity to interview a lady by the name of Terry Morler. And I had been pursuing Terry Morler for years. I'd been pursuing her like a puppy dog, following her around, and never could I even get an appointment with her. So when I finally had an opportunity to meet with her, 5 years of off and on trying to get her to meet with me, I decided to take a different approach. If it's not working, try something new, right? Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So let's do something different. And by this time, I was starting to build that confidence, because I had that essential knowledge piece in place. My selling and presentation skills were really good. That foundational stuff in the pyramid was really working. So I walked in to that appointment thinking, I don't know if I want to work with her. I'm not sure. Isn't this really the attitude we should have anyway? I mean, if you don't know somebody, it's the analogy to dating. Pardon the expression, but if you go out with someone on the first date and you jump under the sheets with them after that first date, the chances of you having a lifelong relationship have been minimized pretty significantly, haven't they? There needs to be a courting process to determine whether there's a match and there's some essence here between you two. So I always start off that first appointment by just asking them a lot of probing questions and not acting as if I'm desperate or that I need them. In fact, I want to paint a subliminal picture in their mind that I am interviewing you for the job of working with me. Question number 1. Those of you that are Toolbox members, there are 15 questions that I use from time to time during these interviews. I will give all of you 4 really good ones. What do you consider to be the greatest need for improving your business right now? Shut up and listen. The floodgates will open. Another way of asking this question is, do me a favor, draw a bullseye on your chest for me. Tell me where your pain is. They're going to tell you that time management is a need. They're going to tell you that they have high turnover on their team. They're going to tell you that they are tired of pounding the pavement to prospect for new business and they need to get a database management system in place. Jim Sanger is going to tell you later on in his panel what he's finding by conducting these interviews and coaching his referral partners. That is the #1 thing that they want right now is a database management system.